Hello, this is Derek from Future Vision and Growth Norman, and I wanted to talk about me being wrong. I know that's not awesome and it's not always the easiest thing to do, but I said my wife and I talked about kind of Norman, and we were like, there's tradition here and things happen the way they always happen. Like every year, things just are ebbs and flows. So, in case you don't know, the way Norman normally works is the students come in. The students come in about, I don't know, August, and we know they're here. You know how we know when they're here? They're freshmen. Why? Because the freshmen that get here don't know we have one-way streets. So they drive backwards. They don't know where to stop. They get lost a lot. They're driving around all crazy, and we're all like, "Oh, they're here." We say that a lot, so you'll hear that being said. Also, our restaurants start to get much busier. Trying to get across town takes longer. So everything changes, the energy comes up. So we have a very chill summer. Everybody like, yeah, we're either relaxing, we're going to, summer breeze, and we have all these festivals, the 4th of July, everything happens, and then all of a sudden the energy ramps up. We get more and more students, more and more young energy, and it's like, wow, everybody's here, and we're so excited about life. So we love that energy. It feeds us during those 9 months. Also, it's great for business, great for us being here. And then in the summertime, it slows down, or so we thought. So there's been a little bit of a change. And I kind of knew it was coming because we have a 3 punch knockout coming if we're not prepared. So we have to get prepared for these three legs or these three pillars of what is coming. And if we're not there, if we're not preparing for this, we're going to get knocked out as a city. And we don't want to do that when we are a championship city. We prepare for everything. I mean, we're preparing for football season the second the last season ends. Man, the second that championship is done or that area is done, we're looking at new recruits. We can tell you when they come onto campus where they're from, recruiting. We have like media days are coming up. I mean, seriously, football is constantly part of who we are. So we are a preparation city. So we should be able to do this at the championship elite level that we are in athletics in every other way. And so this is my thought. We've got to figure it out. But that doesn't stop the fact that I'm wrong. That doesn't stop the fact that I don't know if I know my city anymore. I think that we don't have slow summers anymore. It's super weird. And I was like, uh-oh. So our city, which is normally quieter in the summertime, has not been so quiet. We've had a lot of people in town. Our traffic is busy. Even slow time is still taking you time to get across town. And I'm like, uh-oh. Because if it's not slow in the summertime, when we add at least 36,000 people, and I assume that's going to go up to between 40, 45, 50 as we start to think of, next year when the SEC is, which is, by the way, less than 1 year. Less than 1 year. July 1st of 2024, we are in the SEC conference. So we have less than 1 year to get prepared for that. So there's no slow, let's kumbaya or whatever. We've got to get stuff done like now. We have 12 months. That is very, very fast. And we need to be prepped for that. So our city's just growing. And as it's growing, the housing is growing, more people are moving in, even apartments are getting filled up. So we are really in this space now where our city's a 12-month city that's going to be busy. Now, will it be more busy during school year? Yes. But it won't be less busy in the summer as much. It'll be a little bit less busy, but not much. Because we also are part of the Oklahoma City metro area, which is growing exponentially, and our housing rates are nice, still high, but nicer than some of the other cities in the metro area. So we beat Edmond as far as housing is concerned. As our average housing price is less than Edmond, and I said we're a fun city, so I'm going there. Edmond can be fun too. Like I said, I've worked there for a decade, so I have an affinity for Edmond as well. But ultimately, if I'm going to ask you where to live, I live in Norman. So there you go. So make sure that you're thinking about, okay, what are the possibilities? What are the three areas? And what do we need to do to prepare? So let's start walking through them. First one, SEC conference. We've talked a lot about this. We talked a lot about, I don't know that people understand the sheer magnitude of this. I don't know that I understand the sheer magnitude of this. At first, when I heard it, and I was like, what's the big deal? It's just a conference. Yeah, no, not quite. As I'm reading some of the other cities and what has happened to them and kind of the distinctions, it has changed a lot. Also, we are looking at large scale athletic events coming to the city because of our new sports commission and all the Visit Norman stuff they're doing. So when we look at a soccer tournament, we're going to have fields available, not yet, but soon, where you can host 3,000-4,000 kids. That's a lot of parents coming in with a lot of cash to come in and spend it. They're going to want to stay here. They're going to shop here. They're going to play here. They're going to do the things. And we have to make the city a space for them to do that, for them to spend their money and hang out. So all these things are happening. We also have, again, the entrances. Right now, Lindsay's the nicest entrance coming into Norman off I-35. Bar none. Lindsay is by far the nicest street. With all the renovations they've done to the bridge, when you come in and you see the university benches and all the brick benches headed towards campus, that's very much synergistically, it tells you where you're going the second you get in. Main Street is beautiful once it gets to downtown. And actually, I kind of like it when you get to about Flood. As you hit the curve, it will be nicer. By the high school is nice. I like that area. The tree lined areas over by the charter school is nice. So maybe Stella Nova on is, you got the tree line. It's pretty, but again, you don't know you're coming to downtown. There's no flags up other than the holidays. I mean, maybe an OU flag will be here or there. I mean, so ultimately, again, it's that branding that you're coming into historic downtown is something that needs to be kind of emphasized. So you know that you're coming to a shopping district that's going to be entertaining and fun, and that we're excited about that. And of course, Alameda's changing, so we're going to that's going to shrink. It's going to get a little bit of a diet. What that means is down to like one lane going back and forth. When that happens, people are going to push out to Lindsay, and people are going to push out to Robinson probably, or out further than that. Highway 9. Highway 9 is a weird little thing because it is a highway. So you're coming out of Highway 9. You know you're hit. I like the bridge. I like the circle. But the circle is interesting because we have the big circle coming in. There's nothing in the middle of it. Like, it's just a big old dumpy field in the middle of it. And that's an opportunity, I think, for us to kind of welcome people into that area. I think that, again, maybe I've heard them talk about signage where we put like the Norman established sign off of Classen, near Classen and Lindsay. And actually down further a little bit is really cool. But I think we need to have big Norman signs. As my hometown of Altus, put giant Altus signs on either end, and it's really neat because people take pictures with it. The planes fly over. I mean, it kind of really gives you a chance of letting you know where you're coming into immediately when you arrive. So that's exciting. But we also are looking at the expansion and building on campus. We've seen dorms come down because we're having new buildings going up. We have incredible athletic facilities that are going to be built because you have to compete. If you don't compete, it doesn't work. So you have to make that happen. So what is the city going to do to help welcome everybody? When we look at the idea that we're going to have Alabama fans and fans from all over the country coming in, Tennessee fans coming in. So we need to make sure that they have a good time while they're here. They have in the past, but we're looking at a large scale party that's going to happen, and it should expand beyond Campus Corner because guess what? They're not all going to fit. So Campus Corner, downtown, literally all the way up to probably the park, probably to Andrews, and everything in that district. All those districts should all be one massive area that you can have tailgating. I said, why? Because that's fun. Or have tailgating across the city, which you talked about that too, which is you can have it in different places all over Norman. I said, Norman doesn't have to tailgate in one area. We do, but we don't have to. You can open it up and tailgate other places and create like tailgating oases all over and just have a good time. So again, it goes back to that idea of like continuations of corridors. So the beautifulness of West Lindsay, meaning west of the campus, to East Lindsay is going to be important. Obviously, for all my East Siders, I feel you. It's a little bit tough. And you know what? When 24th was being rebuilt into 4 lane, it was not awesome. It was a hard thing to go through. It's awesome when it's done. So sometimes that pain of having to go through those widenings and the restripings and the fixing of the roads is not fun. But everything's growing east and south and north. So east, north, east, south, east, east. So we have to make sure that we are preparing for that. And one of the ways we do that is fixing our roads. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a little bit more housing going in. There's a lot more rentals going in. There's a lot more housing being built for you to buy. So we're trying to balance out all the different people that are coming into Norman. So that will happen as well. Let's see. The second leg that is going to happen is just straight up being in the Metroplex. Is being in Oklahoma City's Metroplex because they're growing so quickly that we are a suburb of that city. So we ultimately have people moving out of either Oklahoma City or wanting to come to Oklahoma City but don't want to live in the city itself. They want to live in a suburb where they get great schools, they get great art, great music, great food, and yet want to work in Oklahoma City. So we have attraction in that way. We're letting people know that, oh, by the way, come into our city. We're eclectic, we're unique, we are artistic, we're creative, and it's just a Norman vibe. It really is a Norman vibe. And if you haven't been to Norman and understand that, then you need to come visit and come check us out because the vibe is amazing. It's really, really cool. So we've got that. And then there's just straight up the fact that we are growing. Like Norman is Norman, and Norman is a fantastic place to live. We love our citizens. They're eclectic, they're different, they're unique. They're not like every other city. If you're going to every other city and say, well, I'm the same or I look like this, no, we're not. We're really not. We're very different. We have artists and musicians and creatives and young people and LGBTQIA. We've got filmmakers, photographers. I mean, we have incredible things happening here. We have business leaders that are taking absolute risks to make sure that our city is growing. We have developers that are doing interesting things. We have housing that will blow your mind. There are some houses in Norman. I'm not even going to say it because I don't want people to be inundated. But if you drive around some neighborhoods in Norman, you might see a mermaid. You might see a tree trunk on the top of the house. You might see some things that you're just like, that is wild. Fantastic. The absolute ability to be creative and allow you to have fantasy and excitement or very traditional. You want to be very traditional, ranch style, you want to be very traditional mansion, you want to be very traditional, like gothic, whatever you want. You can do that. But we also have amazing museums and art galleries and just fun. And we have a party every month because you go to Second Friday. I mean, we've got a party almost every month at nighttime for our Twilight Market, which will be back in September. So there's just family events. Our school systems are incredible. Our teachers are phenomenal. We're always like striving to be better. We have a new aviation academy to deal with the aerospace industry. It's going to be quite a school for high schoolers as they're ramping them up to get them into aerospace. Which means, by the way, aerospace companies, you get close to Norman, that's fantastic. Why? Because you're going to have students right there at the airport. So get on, start building businesses there, building connections, because these students will be the ones that will funnel into your businesses. So it's a great chance for you to get close to the students that are the future of your business and your industry. Our cluster here is, of course, weather, incredible weather research. We are home to the National Weather Service. It's phenomenal. We are home to Johnson Controls. We're home to, like, there's a lot of things that we are home to here. And there will be a lot more things that we are home to. Why? Because once you come here and visit, and once you come check out what we have going on, it's a great city to raise a family. So if you have a family, you have kids, or you're thinking about having kids, fantastic place to raise a family. We have summer programs out the wazoo. My kids are going to get to do art programs on puppeteering. They're going to get to do art programs on fine art. And this is at, an amazing space. And oh my God, and that is super, super, super cool. And so they can go to a foundry and check that out, and it'll be super amazing. So hopefully you come and check out Norman. See you soon.